Welcome back to Island Exclusive. I'm here with designer extraordinaire, artist in residence in Los Angeles, Scott Sardinha, my brethren from Trini. You're born and raised in Trinidad, Scotty. Let's get down to business. We grew up together, literally.
Literally.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't have the ability to grow up the way we do in the Caribbean. You know, overlooking the ocean on one side, the lush mountains, mountain ranges on the other side. How did that influence you and your art?
Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. As you mentioned, you know, being raised on a hill there, as you know, and having that ocean view of the Gulf, I think it allowed a real dream state sort of live in. And, you know, I did do a lot of daydreaming. My mother was someone who,
yeah, you can't help
who would
it.
attest to that. But, you know, as I always say, you know, allowing someone to dream is building their vision, you know, to where they want to be and the path they want to choose. So having that in Glencoe, being around the bush and the ocean right there, and just those two natural elements was real. You know, I was never inside growing up. I was always outside.
You were always in the bush.
Even when Atari came out, although I might be chunksing on the age there. You know, it was something that didn't hold me inside. It was always outside. So it was real inspirational growing up there, and having that sense of you know, dreamlike living to open up your vision as to who and what you want to be and do in life. You know?
Yeah. One thing I love about the Caribbean, if you grow up there, you have horizon vision. You're used to looking out and seeing just a vaster view, and it does allow your mind to dream and aspire. I know you as a surfer boy. I know you always in the water. It was a whole team of you, you know, you guys. It was like a boys' club, and you were always in the water, always amongst nature. How did that then bring you into the artistic realm?
Well, I mean, nature in itself is the biggest canvas that we have amongst us and we live on, you know, so that's art in itself. Being amongst that and being part of nature and having a close affinity to it was a stronghold in saying, you know, how I could now take what I have and how I live and then express that through my experiences, you know, in an artistic manner. So that sort of springboarded me into messing around with, as much as I used to be a surfer with partners as well. Growing up was also a community of art and artists that I'd be amongst, you know. So hanging out would be what we might call doodling or painting or whatever as well. As an artist, you know, your biggest tools are your eyes in the observation sense. So that's what I really focused on when I was out there and around, was just looking around, observing things, observing the simplicity of line and design, which, you know, is one thing I'd always look at. You know, you might see something on a positive tip, but I also look at the negative element. I'm not saying in a bad way, but just the backdrop side of something, or the blackout side of something, instead of just the bright colored side, or, you know, the main focal image. I'll look around all of those aspects and elements. So that was a big boost, you know, being in Europe for a number of years there while being educated there.
And it makes you appreciate your culture more where you're from.
Completely.
It's the opposite. You don't lose it.
No,
you actually appreciate it more.
Yeah, you know, everything's embellished and enhanced a lot, you know, like you really have a deep appreciation and a great sense of, you know, I mean, when you really check, the Caribbean is a blessed place. And if it's Trini, Lucia, Barbados, wherever, what I realized is when I was in Europe and amongst all these other students and whatnot, and, you know, you ask where people are from, and when you hear or you see it from the Caribbean, you see a whole expression on people's faces. Like they realize that, you know, and it really made me realize that it's a unique part of this whole world that we are in and where we're from, and I feel, you know, real blessed and patriotic
What I
for
love
that.
about your work, Scotty, it's artisanal, it's handmade. It speaks to that maker culture that's very much still a part of our culture, not just in the Caribbean. I mean, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have Carnival, where we make costumes, we adorn ourselves with our art.
That for years.
I was in that for years, exactly. So a lot of times, you know, people tend to think that, you know, mass quantity, mass production, more money, that's where it's at. But the truth is that that artisanal touch is not elusive. It's not just for a niche luxury market. It is more accessible than we think. Can you talk about how you use your art and your furniture pieces to still make that connection with that personal touch?
Well, basically it is, as you said, a lot of hands-on aspects still involved with it. And I think that's what makes the art of the Caribbean, especially in the dimensional sense, quite unique still. For me, even being out here in LA and whatnot, I saw the need to stay true to what I know and how I was introduced into it, and knowing that if doing so, I'll be finding my own path and my own lane. And in turn, people would, you know, as it being subjective, will say, hey, you know what, I rather this hand quality aspect to the look of the table or the look of a piece of work, as opposed to that more refined, finished, modern, clean, sterile look. There's so much more going on in the Caribbean art and within the Caribbean too. You know, that the day that the vast exposures there would be a great one, you know what I mean? The more people come off the shores and come abroad and stuff, you would realize how much of an example the Caribbean can set, you know, in the art world.
Modern, contemporary Caribbean movement underway. And you're on the front line, Scotty. When we come back, we're going to get into the technical aspect of your work, how you use your hands and your creativity to come up with some of these amazing pieces. It's Sardinha Studio right here on Island Exclusive. Don't go anywhere. Up next on IX, someone might think is trash.
I don't dream of
you don't dream about
I don't dream of wood.
It's not that deep.
Yeah.